saran wrap, plastic wrap around a cake board, piece of cardboard, and a piece of plywood. So that one's the bigger one. I did 2 or 3 layers there. I suppose if it starts getting higher with the resin, more than I expect, I can always do another layer of silicone. I'm doing white over top of the white glitter. I don't like that. So I still have to fix this area in here and the white strip, and then I might be done with that one. And this one down in there where the white and purple is, that's going to get another layer. And this one here, I put the green on today. So that's I want to work on taking the silicone out of the center, and then I'll be finding my my little crystal points, and I'm going to put some crystal points in there. I didn't want to ruin this, rip it, but it looks like this piece is going to be a little bit tougher than I thought to get out, because I don't want to take it off the board. I just want to work on it while it's still on the plastic. So I'm going to try not to ruin it. It's starting to come out. This. The reason I'm trying to save it in the same shape is because when I took this one out last night, it actually started coming out by itself. I didn't know if I was done with it or not, but the center came out perfect and this bottom piece came off perfect, so I can actually do another one just like that. I just have to stick it down a little. I don't know how I'm going to stick it down. Probably stick it right over some more silicone. Put silicone on the back and then give it a good seal. So I got this piece off and it's split a little bit here, so I can always fix that up. And I'm going to put this aside and keep that. And I do need to just clean this up a little bit. Here comes my honey and the dog. Just pull them loose ends off. And I don't want to pick off, there's these little glass pieces here. I'm just going to leave them so it looks kind of natural. I think that's all that I really wanted to get off of there. Alright, so I have my quartz crystal pieces here, and I did put some real amethyst in this sporadically, but I've learned not to put my good stones down and resin because the resin just covers them, sucks them up, or you can't see them. So if you're going to use gems or crystals, I would wait until you're going to be able to put them on the top surface after you're done creating your layers. You want to save the precious gems for and stones and crystals for your top layer. I kind of want it to have a natural appearance. So I think this is going to fit in that hole nicely. Again, I'm probably using too much glue. This is like, to me it seems like it's like a clear gel super glue. Oh, that's almost right across from the other one, isn't it? But there's a hole there and it fits in there nicely. And I believe this wide part down here is going to be the bottom when I hang it. And this is going to be the top. So I have two on the side, one in the middle. And I don't want it looking like it was too planned out, even though it was. What other hole? There's a hole over here. See, I don't like them looking like they're just planned out. Alright, I'm going to let these three dry and then we'll come back. The pink and the silicone in the center are holding up the crystals that I'm currently gluing on the edges. All the other ones you see have dried. I've been busy doing it all day. So this part's taken time, but it's okay. I don't mind. I'm using the Aleens jewelry and metal glue, and if you use that, you be careful because it is a gel form super glue. This is another geode out of the 3 that I've been making since the second week of July. And I was able to do my colors and figure out how to have the resin stay right where I put it. So now that this has dried, I want to remove, I'm going to take this out of the silicone. And this is just, it's a cake board with saran wrap on it. And I use tube caulking, and I use the caulking gun. So you can see how simple this comes off. And that can be re-caulked down on the fresh board. And that looks pretty good. I was concerned about, I had crushed glass, and I was concerned about, you know, any grandchildren or guests coming up and touching it and getting cut. So, although I still have some of the glass left that I broke myself, I'm going to use it up, but I'm going to just use fire glass, and this is the glass you can get at Michael's for $4.99 a piece without a coupon. It's an Ashland decorative filler. So I recommend using coupons whenever shopping at Michael's, and they also take coupons from other craft stores. Okay, so I want to remove the outer layer. I'm going to try to hold the camera up and possibly try to do it with one hand. My tripod is very short, so it's definitely loose. I'm just kind of pulling it a little bit. I might be able to lift it off the board, but since I do everything myself and all alone, I'm doing the best I can. I just want to loosen it up. Let's see if I can pick it up. Okay, it's coming off. Yeah, I wanted to give you a good view, but I don't see that that's really going to happen, so it is what it is. And I did 2 small ones a couple months ago, just really small ones, just to get it out of my system. And so these 3 that I've been working on, I've been doing them all at once because I wanted to use up all the caulking in the gun at once. And when I do a pour, I always have some left over, so it worked out nice that I could fill 3 of them at once. Okay, so this whole ring comes off, and when I go to use it again, I'll just put a little fresh silicone around the underside of it and push it down on the plastic or saran wrap, whichever I end up using. I do have the plastic sheeting because that's going to be for my work table, for my YouTube videos, that I'm been getting everything together to do a better job. And I didn't think about putting geodes on that plastic, but I saw ATD put it on their plastic. So I thought, well, I'm going to have it down anyway, and I do have extra, so maybe I'll try that next. It worked well for them. Saran wrap works wonderful. You see it came off all the way. We're going to turn this over and look at the back. As you can see, I started out, you see a lot of amethyst in here that is buried in the resin. I don't know, I had my little amethyst stones out here, but I don't know where they're at now. Anyway, I buy them in 1 pound bags, and this just needs a very little bit of cleanup just to get these little pieces off. And as you see, I had a lot of blue and a lot of purple in that, and if you look on this side, it still has some, but not all. I think it came out pretty. It's pretty cool. I like gaudy and sparkly, and that's what I got. So I'm not sure if I'm going to put amethyst in the center, or I might use, I have a few large pieces of crystal. This one seems just too big to try to put, unless I put it like that, and then maybe put one coming up on the top of that, maybe, or maybe have the little one on top, have this one shooting up, and put that one, and then I could put some amethyst or fireglass around the base of it, maybe. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with it yet, but you will see soon. I also have double pointed ones. I could put a double pointed one in there, would probably look pretty cool. But I like it. The outside is the green glass pebbles that I broke. So this is like dangerous. Like I'm gonna put these up where the kids' arms can't reach them. I don't want anyone touching these. Really. These were my first experiments, and I'm not happy about having to break that glass up like that. That, for me, you know, I have a dog. I don't want glass getting in his paws, and I'm not perfect, so, you know, I just don't want that mess around, and don't want to deal with people getting hurt from touching them. So I'm going to stick with the fire glass and the Michael's glass, and just do it that way. Here I use I'll show you what it is. It's called filler. Alright. So when I got home and I looked at it, you could see that, yeah, there's mirror on there, but there's like paint. Where if you look at this one super sparkles and is just clear glass with a mirrored background, and they were broken. This has a painted surface and mirrored surface, and they were broken. So they have some dust in there, plus they're not as shiny as the others. So what I ended up doing was, first I took some purple Dr. Martin's ink, and I put a drop in after I put some in a Dixie cup, and I stirred that in, and it was okay. I mean, it gave it more of a purple tint, you know, a deeper purple. And then on this next batch, I took my Wild Orchid tattoo ink, and I put 2 drops of that in the cup and stirred that around, and that made it super dark. So I took the the cup, and I dumped it out on a paper towel, and I squirted it with the 91% alcohol, and a lot of the ink came off. They stayed dark, but a lot of the extra ink came off, and I patted them, and a lot came off on the paper towel. And then I have whitewash rags that I use just for my arting, and I laid one of them down, and I poured the rest out, and I squirted it, and I used the rag, and I just pulled the rag back and forth over top of it from each side, and got all the excess off. So now when it dried, it has a little bit of a matte color to it, so definitely want to be able to go over this with resin and bring up the shine on it again. So I am experimenting, trying different ways to work with this stuff. Like this is one of the clear mirror glasses that is in this jar. I really like that, and I like the blue. And then I had gotten a teal and this off-white color, and you see there's white paint on those. So today I almost took the 6 jars back, and I was just going to keep the pretty blue sparkle ones. And I was going to take them back and trade it up to get just the most glistening ones. And then I thought, you know what? I got them on a really good deal, and I have them. I think I can make use of them, because when you do this, you're going to be putting stuff down and then building up over top of it. So I thought, you know what? I can make use of that. And then I'll put the most beautiful stuff on the very tops. So I kept it. And I have this. It's called Glass Gems. It's in gold, and it's in silver, and these are from Family Dollar. I have about 6 of those jars saved up. And here I'll show you what I have left of the glass that I broke. I did the pink, and I also added a couple drops of Dr. Martin's magenta and stirred that in. I used a colander, and I separated the fine glass from the thicker glass, and I kept each little bag of the fine glass, and I've been putting that down first just because I don't want to waste it, but I don't want anyone getting cut from that either. So, and then there's my green. So each one I added some of the dye in. And there's some blue, and there's the darker blue, and this one is my purple. So so that's where I'm at with all the glass. The fire glass for 10 pounds is $38 plus shipping. So at some point I would love to be able to get bags of that. However, it's not in my budget right now. So I'm with my coupons that I get from Michael's, I just get little by little and build my things up. The dollar store I get, you know, the glass pebbles at, but I don't want to break them no more. So those I did in my sink bowl. My windows are covered in them. My bird bath's covered in them. My birdhouse is covered in them. So I made good use of all the bags of the glass. I still have more. I made 3 more birdhouses with them. And I will show you my first geodes. That's a little one that I did on a coaster. And I tried nail polish with that. So it actually bubbled up, and I didn't have to put anything on that. So that one's cute. This is the second one that I did. I did these 2 at the same time. And that's over top of a tile. And I used the gold stones, and I used real amethyst, some glitter, and I was using, I put white nail polish, and when I put the resin over it, it turned yellow. So I ended up putting fresh white and using white glitter and not going over it with the resin again. And that was one of my pours I tried to do like Jeff did. Didn't come out like I wanted it to. And this pour, I heated up the resin too much. This was like probably one of my second or third pours, so I just put gems all over it. So these are some of my first pieces. So yeah. So I'm having fun. This Grammy is loving it. I can't wait till my grandkids come and see them. This one I don't know what I'm doing with yet. But they got bling, they got sparkle, and I'm gonna love looking at them on my walls. So we'll come back to this one after these crystals have dried in there. So my beautiful crystals have dried. The glue worked. So I mean, a couple of them were wiggly. I have to look at that from the back once it gets off and check that one. But I love it. So far, so good. So I'm going to take the rest of it out of the silicone. I'm not putting any more coats on it. It's just this tripod is small, and the geode is big, and I can't fit the whole thing in, so I'm really sorry about that. So I'm just going to start loosening this up. This is on saran wrap. I think some of it's going to give me a problem. I'm just going to take the whole edge off without breaking it. That's coming off easy. I have to do a little bit of cleanup on the edges. And it's completely reusable. Just put a little silicone under the bottom of it. Alright, now I'll try to peel this up. It's on. It seems like some of it is sticking. There's a couple spots where the saran wrap sticking to it. Okay, so there's two spots here. Let's see. It's not perfect. It's a little imperfect, and I'm okay with that. So here's the back. When I started it on my first layer, I didn't want to use up the my good glass, or crystals obviously. So here you see, those were clear glass pebbles. And then I poured my thickener with the resin over top of that, and built up from there. So all of it has the thickening additive in there. And that's how I made mine. That's how I made them stay in place on my rows. So hopefully it'll be sunny out soon and I can take pictures of it in the sun. So I came outside to try to catch this in a better light for you. There's no sun out today. But I think it's doing pretty good in natural light. This is the big main geode that I made out of 3 using the resin additive to thicken it. And I was able to pour the colors that I wanted, and they stayed where I put them. If I moved them around a little bit, then it stayed there. Give you a little close up. So those crystals in the center are real. I picked them 20 years ago, probably more than 20 years ago, in Carbon County, Pennsylvania, off the mountain. Also, the tiny shards are from Bay's Rock Shop in Boyertown, Pennsylvania, United States. And I'll link their website for you. I glued them with the Aleens jewelry glue for metal and jewelry. This is the second largest of the 3. And this is the little guy. This is the little one that I made.